I got a message from one of the hyenas in the Discord server, basically asking if I could do a video or a blurb about some of the stuff in the background, like the Gamer Subs panel. I realized I actually haven't done an updated studio tour since 2 or 3 years ago when I made that first video. Don't watch it, I'm dancing in the beginning of it because I still had the light in my eyes back then. But there's actually quite a few things back here that you see on camera and a number of things that you don't, that I think might be interesting to explain to you, both just to show off some of the stuff that you see in every video, but also to talk just a little bit about set design. For any of you guys who are setting up your own little comfy office space, Twitch stream, YouTube, or what have you, how can you make it so that your background looks as nice as some of the people who understand lighting and dynamic focus and what have you, and some of the people who just stick a poster behind them and then it all looks a little bit flat. First of all, just to give you guys an entire picture of what you're seeing here, here is an image of what my entire corner of this room looks like, what is effectively my working area, my YouTube studio, my Twitch stream background, whatever you want to call it. It is 3 Target bookcases that are like 5 shelves each, as well as a 4th bookcase all the way in the corner that I stole from a dumpster because it looked in relatively good condition, all piled up behind me. Those 3 in the middle used to be the only ones that I had, and that was back when my camera was over here and I was looking directly at it. And I made the decision to not have the bookshelves be directly behind my face because I wanted a little bit more depth to the image. And this is one of the major key things you should pay attention to if you want to make your background look interesting on camera, is you want to provide some depth. There should be not just one flat, this is behind you and this is you as a person, but there should be some things that are a little bit closer to the camera, some things that are a little bit farther away from the camera, not on one perfect even plane. You want to give it a teeny bit of an angle so that you don't seem like somebody who is just sitting in front of a green screen, because at the end of the day, if everything behind you is just going to be on one flat level, you might as well just stick a picture behind you. Why take the time to spend hundreds of dollars and meticulously put together little bits and pieces of all of your niche interests on the shelf behind you if people are just going to think that you're sitting in front of a green screen? That's a bit of a waste, right? The reason I initially started with my camera right in front of me with everything flat is because I initially had a green screen. In this image, you can actually see one of the first things I put into this room when everything was empty was I hung a green screen from the ceiling way up above where the camera would ever see, so that I could just yank that thing down and have a green screen when I wanted it and then throw it away when I didn't. But even back then I realized, hey, there's going to be a point where I might not be using the green screen all the time, so I left enough space behind the green screen to put all of these shelves. And then as time went on and I decided to sort of forego the green screen altogether and make my background the more permanent background to the sorts of videos that I made, I moved my camera over here to the side where you see it right over my left monitor in this picture, so that I could have a little bit more depth to everything behind me. Now, having depth isn't the only thing that is important when you're setting up your studio. One of the things that I wanted to be very clearly dictated with my background was bright colors, neon, vibrancy, overly saturated, all of this, for a couple of reasons. A, I am not a white guy. I am not Caucasian, and so I end up looking sick if I don't have a certain amount of saturation in the video that is portraying me. In a perfect world, I would have color grading. I would have professionally done perfect color representation with my camera that makes it so that I look the perfect amount of macchiato brown as I should do. But in a lazy man's attempt to quickly be able to accomplish that, I up the saturation. I increase the depth of the color intensity on my camera so that my face looks not flushed out, as it were. Some people can get away with this look, most notably Moist Critical here, and it ends up working out because he uses a slightly lower quality webcam, and you know, his entire thing is that he isn't trying to be super high production, and it works for him. But for me personally, I did not like this very black, white, and gray aesthetic that comes along with people that don't have any lights or any bright colors. You can see Moist behind him actually has a poster. He has gamer subs behind him. He has action figures and everything, but everything looks a little bit dull and a little bit muted because he doesn't have the intense lights on him that would allow him to properly illuminate everything and give it the color that it deserves. Now, that's a look that he's going for. That is a look that I would recommend you try to avoid. Do your best to let the things in your background that have color show off their color, if that's what you want. If you want to go for a complete black and white look, that's chill, but this, in my opinion, is much more fun to look at, even though the sort of videos I make is more stuff people listen to and just throw on their second monitor. I feel like little things like this that show that you pay attention to the sort of videos that you're putting out make a big difference to people that click and watch your videos. So here is the first of 4 bookshelves that I have behind me. This is actually the one that is furthest this direction. You actually can't see this one on camera, and so as a result, this one ends up being filled with things that don't really have enough significance for me to want to show them on camera. I, at this point, have enough things behind me that I could swap around most anything and it would still be nice and colorful and true to the aesthetic that I am going for. But the vast majority of everything that is behind me here is gifts that were given to me either by sponsors or by very nice hyenas on Patreon. I used to do P.O. box unboxings. There's actually a P.O. box linked in my Discord and in the description if you guys ever want to send me gifts and put stuff on the shelf behind me. That is always a thing that you can do. But a lot of the things that are on my shelf, 90% of it is stuff that people have sent me or video games and manga, and then 10% of it is just storage, just toys and cables and stuff that I didn't have space for that are on the bottom shelves and what have you. On this first shelf, I've got a number of things that were sent to me by Angie on Patreon. She's the one who's made the cards that you'll see in a bit, but I've got miniature replicas of some swords from Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan. I've got some gun PLAs, a little Lego Vaporeon, Yu-Gi-Oh card boxes. There's a little anime figurines, a number of things that were sent to me by Mudan, the editor for Trash Taste, while he was doing his 365 days vlogging in Japan. He did a video where he sent me a bunch of stuff from Japan, and I still have the little Pokemon juices up at the top there, that spicy ramen. I just found the first copy of Fire Force at a thrift store the other day, so that's still sitting there. Those ears are from Zootopia 2 that my wife took me to see on my birthday, and you know, just a bunch of other stuff. That red card there is actually a thank you card I got Donghua Zhilong. How could I forget? The industrial glycine company that sent me some swag after I made a TikTok talking about the memes that went viral from their TikToks. They sent me a nice signed card, which is chill. That's the ukulele from the episode that I did talking about Colleen Ballinger. There's a lot of teeny little bits and pieces from videos behind me if you are well enough in the know. That sushi Rolex from one of the episodes I was talking about watches, you know the vibes. Shelf number 2, this is the shelf that is directly behind me, or one of the 2 shelves that are directly behind me. The top is just a number of things from Demon Slayer and Naruto that have been sent to me. That McDonald's bag is actually the McDonald's BTS collaboration that for some reason I managed to steal one of the bags from. A small selection of pretty much all the manga that I have. That's the first 3 copies of Death Note, the Black Edition. Again, Angie from Patreon did those 2 cards that have some fan art on it, as well as sent me the first hardback cover of Berserk that I still have wrapped in plastic. The 3 or 4 PS2 games, the 3 or 4 Nintendo Switch games, all that's pretty much stored. That middle shelf that you see there is just gamer sups stuff. There is the powder that I have, a couple of the shakers that I keep on the shelf, as well as the box for the new Pixel Cup that I got. Just quick access, you know, it's nice to keep on camera, and then also anytime that I want to add some gamer sups to the drink that I'm currently drinking, I just grab it right behind me. A lot of people seem to think that I don't drink gamer sups. I drink gamer sups all the time. I used to not drink the energy gamer sups because I was worried about the caffeine. I preferred just Red Bull and stuff, but lately I realized I was spending like $8 a day just buying 3 monsters, and so recently I've started drinking the lemonade energy gamer sups, and it's been great because you can make it, you don't need to leave the house, it's always ice cold because I make it with ice, and so yeah, I drink gamer sups every day. I have 3 boxes of this V-card trading card game that Gamer Sups did a collaboration with, and each one of these boxes is like 30 packs of these VTuber trading card things. I don't know if I'm supposed to have that many of them because these boxes are like $200 each. But if you guys would like a video with me opening the better part of 100 booster packs of this VTuber trading card set, you know, I don't have an idea for what to do on Friday, so let me know. I've also got this, which is a Nerf Spamf. This is a Nerf Falcon Fire that has got a 3D printed modification on it that turns it from a blaster where you stick the darts in the front of it to a magazine fed blaster, and this is one of the smallest spring loaded magazine fed blasters you can get your hands on. If you buy the 3D printed kit for this thing, this can easily run you like $100. I don't necessarily recommend it, but I just love how small it is and the fact that it shoots half-length darts. It's so satisfying to cock this thing back and use it. Highly recommend. I'm not a huge Nerf guy, but the fact that some of these things have so much detail given in the way that they're made, and the fact that half of it's 3D printed, and how powerful some of these things can get, it's a little bit hard not to be a Nerf guy once you pay attention to how cool the hobby is. Shelf number 3, sort of the main shelf. This is the one directly behind me from where you guys are on the camera now, and probably the one that gets covered up by me the most. The top couple shelves, which are generally not on camera, are just Funko Pops that half of them are, I don't think I've ever bought a Funko Pop. The vast majority of them are ones that my wife has bought because they've been on sale at Target, or she just likes them. That Linkin Park one is again from Patreon member Angie. Huge hyena, big fan. There's a couple Demon Slayer figurines, sort of just nonsense, on the next shelf after the Funko Pops. The one behind it, this one that's got the little Botan from Yu Yu Hakusho GIF that's always playing, next to the Rei Ayanami figurine that was again sent to me by Angie. One of my favorite things, it was sent to me by a different Patreon member that was just like, hey, do you want something that will count your subscribers and on like a little digital screen? And I was like, no. I think that will make me depressed because I've been losing subscribers for 3 years straight. But being able to make it a little digital memeable thing is one of the best things ever. It is one of the few things behind me that provides motion, that provides light. The fact that it's right behind my head always shines through the little bits of my hair that are always unkempt. It is one of my favorite features of what you actually see behind me on camera, and so I'm incredibly thankful for that GIF. We also have a little Among Us guy, my 2 controllers, the skull that I use for Halloween episodes, and then the vinyl for the soundtrack from Evangelion, another incredible gift given by another Patreon member for one of the P.O. Box unboxings. Definitely one of the biggest highlights in terms of like characteristic. Like I if I was going to show somebody my shelf and I wanted them to sort of have an idea of who I am based on what's on the shelves behind me, rather than any of the manga or video games that I play, I'd show them that and see if they give a shit. And if they do, then we're probably going to get along just fine. Shelf number 4 is basically nothing. It's primarily storage because it's very dark and always completely covered up by me. You can tell by the fact that it's just plastic containers. Aside from a few comic books that I've picked up for no reason, as well as the Vaporeon in a jar gimmick that was again provided by Angie on Patreon. There's not too much going on back there. But then the major thing is the table that is off to my right side. This is just a folding table that I bought from Walmart for like $15 that is holding up. This is a GamerSupps mini fridge is what you see behind me. The Discord member who was asking for this video said, is it a GamerSupps panel, like a light up LED panel? And I think a neon sign or something would be cool if I ever convert half of this room into like a podcast set. But what covers that up pretty well is this mini fridge. This is like a, I think 10 gallon liter equivalent volumetric thing. If you took out the shelf in it, it could hold 6 2-liter bottles of soda just fine, but for now it's designed just to hold shelves and what have you. But the reason that I have it behind me is because it provides light and it provides an air of authority when it comes to the sponsorship aspect of it, right? Like if I see a lot of people that will do videos where they'll say they're sponsored by like Squarespace or BetterHelp, and I'll see that they have like no views. Not to make fun of anybody, you know, there's no such thing as a small creator, right? But there are a number of people that I see that do sponsorships, and they're really only doing it to seem like a bigger YouTuber than they are. Squarespace generally doesn't pay people to do sponsorships. Like, they don't pay you in exchange for talking about their website. Instead, what they do is they have an affiliate link where they'll make it where if anybody signs up for Squarespace and they use the link from your channel, they'll send you a discount or some amount of money. I know Epidemic Sounds does something similar. These are sponsors in that you will make money if you refer people. They are referral programs, affiliate programs, but they don't pay you based on how many views you get or what have you. And so what people end up doing is say that every one of their videos is sponsored by Squarespace in the hopes that you will sign up for a website by them, but they aren't actually getting paid for any of that. And, you know, respect to the hustle, nothing wrong with that, but at my point in my career, I find that a teeny bit distasteful. I don't want to spend every video telling you guys to buy something and get in your way with commercials and sponsorships if I'm not even getting paid for them, right? Let's do a proper handshake. I'm going to bug you with an advertisement. I'm going to get paid for it, and then we're going to move on, sort of thing. So I think having things like a company send you a mini fridge, a company sponsor a video, situations where people are spending money to try to make your set cooler or your video bigger budget cooler and stuff like that, gives the viewer, you guys, a little bit more quality in exchange for the fact that you're getting bugged with a little bit of advertising. And I like the way that the mini fridge fulfills that purpose. There is always going to be this little bit of a Gamer Supps reminder for you to let you know if you wanted Gamer Supps. I have a link in the description. But instead of me just bugging you every time that they have a sale, I can instead just have this nice, shiny, bright piece of studio lighting that adds to my decor, makes my background a little bit more lively, and adds a little bit of professionalism. I'm not just telling you to go buy something in the hopes that you do. It's, hey, we got a whole system going on here, and so I like it for that. The last major bit is that far wall over to the side. If you guys recognize the images and the artwork that are on that wall, it is actually from my first apartment ever. If you go to my videos from like 5 years ago, you'll see this stuff hanging up over my couch that I had at the time. It is now nicely placed over this wall surrounding my 100,000 subscriber silver play button, my YouTube plaque, that unfortunately is just a little bit too high to be in any of the shots where I have my camera on, but you know, whatever. I don't need to be that in your face about how big and rich of a YouTuber I am. And then over here in the corner, I have a sushi menu that I stole from a sushi restaurant. It's not my proudest moment. Drank way too many Asahis, but it turned into me going, I like that. I want that for my room. And then I left with it. If you're taking the time to try to make the background of your videos, your studio, or you just want to make your space comfy and expressive of your interests, my one big piece of advice to you would be to find a picture that you feel like represents the feelings that you want to evoke out of your space before you try and put this thing together. For me, it was my vending machine background, which is still in the background of every one of my videos. I just have this webcam over it, but I love the neon colors, the neon lights, the vending machines and everything. And so I knew that I wanted my background to be like sodas in a vending machine. I wanted a lot of small bits of color that all came together and became this sort of cityscape of neon colors and bits and pieces of anime and video games and what have you. And through having that vision, I was able to put together all of these things in a way that makes it one cohesive look. There isn't too much of the area behind me that feels completely out of place, because whenever I was putting something on the shelves behind me, I was thinking, hey, does this fit into the vibe of like a rainy night in front of a bunch of lit up vending machines, or is it just a bunch of cables and wires that I would rather keep off of camera? And as a result, I feel like it's come together pretty well. If you guys have any questions about any of the stuff that's on the shelves behind me, where to buy it, where did I get it, or anything along those lines, let me know in the comments. I'll give you guys a go. And if you guys have any pictures of your own setup that you yourself are proud of, let me know in the subreddit, let me know in the Discord. I would be happy to take a look at you guys. Maybe we'll do a review of them if we get enough people submitting. I'd love to see how the hyenas' dens have been looking after so many years of watching my backdrop evolve over the years. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.